I was recently contacted by a business owner about creating some signage for her floral shop. She wanted some 4 foot tall, three-dimensional letters spelling love she can use as a display in her shop for Valentine's Day. Here is a SketchUp model of what I will be creating. I'm going to use plywood for the fronts of the letters and actually use some 1x material for the sides. You can see it's hollow on the back as it's not really needed there, and it'll help make the letters lighter themselves. The letters themselves will be 4 feet tall as requested by the client. So the first thing I did here in Photoshop was create a document that has the same dimensions as a sheet of plywood. If I come here and show you, the canvas size is 96 inches by 48 inches, which is your typical 4x8 sheet of plywood. Next, I placed a nice block letter font on the document. Now you could use this to print out a template to cut out your letters, but I would rather use math to my advantage. So what I did was use the guides in Photoshop, holding down the Shift key, which actually snaps it to 1/4 inch increments here. So I just go through the letters here and add guides. At all of the cut lines. Then once I had my guides, what I could do was to lay out the measurements for each of my lines here. So you can see this is 5 1/4 inch, 2.75, so on and so forth. So I did that for each of the letters here. Then what I did was save this off to a JPEG file so that I could reference it and use these dimensions on my plywood. I first start by breaking down a sheet of plywood using my track saw. I measure the width of each individual letter and cut it out, making sure to mark which letter it is. Since I used math for each letter, it was easy to simply measure out each line segment and draw it on the plywood with a pencil. Here you can see all the letters with their layout drawn on them. Before making the cuts, I made sure to score all of the lines with a utility knife in hopes it would prevent the plywood from tearing out. To cut the letters out, you could use various tools such as a jigsaw, a bandsaw, a circular saw, or even a simple handsaw. Since I have a track saw with a 90-degree fence, that is what I decided to use. One downside to using a circular saw is you end up with angled cuts due to the round shape of the blade. I used a combination of a handsaw and a multi-tool to finish off these cuts, but you could just as easily use a jigsaw. This section was a little too tight for any of my saws, so I used a chisel and a hammer to clear out the waste. This was a project that had been interesting me for a while, as these signs are often used as backdrops for photo shoots and at parties. If you have the space, you can make a bunch of these and rent them out for a decent price. Once the faces were all cut out, you can then work on the sides by measuring out the length you need for your 1x material. I'm using pine 1x8s here. To attach the sides to the faces, I use glue and a brad nailer. Most of the cuts were pretty straightforward, but I used an angle finder for some in order to get my table saw to the correct angle. Once I had one side fitting well, I could then trace the other side of the board to see how long to cut it. I ended up splitting the angles in half for each cut. So if you have a 120-degree angle, you would cut each board at 60 degrees to complement each other. When nailing like this, you need to be very careful to keep your fingers out of the danger zone. Brad nails are notorious for shooting out the side, and you do not want to catch one of those in the finger. Using a pocket hole jig is another method you can use to attach the sides to the front. Now that all the letters are pieced together, I can fill the nail holes and knots using wood filler. You could also use spackle or even Bondo to fill all these holes. I didn't worry about filling in the gaps on the side, but if you want a really smooth finish, you can do that. It was getting a little too cold in the garage, so unfortunately I had to bring everything in the house to get it painted. Using a small roller, I first applied 2 coats of primer. Once the primer had fully dried, I could then move on to paint. For the paint, I'm using a product meant for cabinets and furniture. This paint will be more durable than your typical wall paint. I think the finished product turned out nice and the client was extremely happy. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.